Okay,
Oh, I see.
okay.
Well, they would either save the event as
I'll
an
save the
item,
event.
anybody
Yes,
can
yes,
save it,
yes, yes. Uh, so you start the topic. The topic title is uh, interesting. Like unnatural math, everything equates to one. So
right?
it is natural mathematics, and natural means I guess that it starts with the uh, universe and the other habitat on the planet like humans and other things. So please start your topic as
Well, there is only one universe because everything else that they can come up with is only exists on a computer,
yes, yes, yes,
which is not real.
yes,
Natural mathematics is about what is what is natural. Uh, Unnatural mathematics is engineering,
okay,
where they create something from nothing,
okay,
and that's why they have to have zero,
okay,
because they have to have nothing to start from, which is awesome because that's what drives our engineering and our the biggest driver of our economy is creating stuff.
okay, okay. So our physiological being that is engineered naturally like the human being. So
Well, our physical self, you mean?
yes, yes,
Our physical self is chemical expression image.
yes,
All of our cells, all our skin, all of our makeup is a chemical expression
yes,
that is happening in real time,
yes,
and that it's a non-ionizing nuclear chemical expression,
yes,
and this comes from our person.
yes,
Our physical self is like our avatar,
yes, yes, yes,
and our person.
yes,
A lot of people that are religious speak of it as spirit or soul or whatever like that.
yes,
But our person is uh, just energy, and all energy. It doesn't matter what kind of energy it is.
okay.
It is sounds
Oh, of course.
because it's frequency and vibration.
Yes,
So all energy is sound,
yes,
even electromagnetic radiation that we create, like electricity and stuff like that.
yes,
It only works because it emits
yes,
sound.
yes,
Our electricity is 50 or 60 hertz.
yes,
If it didn't emit sound, there is no energy.
yes,
So our physical self is um, an expression. It's an expression of the sounds that we are,
yes,
which is executed and refreshed by our heartbeat.
yes, yes, yes,
Our heart is an incredible machine
yes,
that takes inaudible sound, sound that is impossible to be heard, and compresses it into a compression shock wave, and the blood inside the heart being compressed creates a shock wave, and that shock wave creates the electricity that the heart generates by itself,
Yes.
and that electricity flows through our body and is executed by our brain
Yes.
to maintain the chemical expression that our body is.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So our physical self not is not actually what we are. What we are is just an energy being. We are just an infinite loop of sound.
Okay. So you are
And
emphasizing on sound.
yes,
Okay.
everything is sound.
Everything is sound.
If everything natural is sound, because if it doesn't emit a frequency and a vibration cycle,
Okay.
it doesn't exist.
Oh. Oh. Yes.
In order for it to exist, it has to emit sound.
Okay. And sound means the frequencies which can be sensed by the living beings like humans and others.
Well, we can feel other people,
Yes.
of course, because they are emitting sounds, and it's very difficult to explain to a person that we can hear other people, but we don't need our ears to do that.
That is interesting. And in this situation, it just reminds me one famous character. That is, her name is what is her name? She could not speak. She could not listen. She could not. She could not. She could listen. She could not speak. She could not see. What is her name? Very famous. That
Well,
lady.
they can feel.
No, no, that famous lady. Just I just don't recall the name. Helen Keller. Helen Keller. So Helen Keller could not speak, could not see, and probably
Right.
yes, yes, could not listen also because she was deaf, isn't it? And she is it? No, she was not deaf. She was not deaf. She could not listen. That is why. No, yes, yes. She could not listen. That is why she could not learn. So her that auditory cord means whatever we speak that was fine. So she was taught by feeling the vibration by touch. Like she used to touch um, the what is that? I don't that particular word I don't remember. That touches the where we speak, like it vibrates just in our
Yeah.
body. So she touches, used to touch and then used to learn. Means how to change that and how to speak. Do you remember that? Means
Correct.
yes. So uh,
Well,
mm,
our skin
yes,
is full of billions and billions of ears,
yes,
receptors.
yes,
They're called Pacinian corpuscles,
yes.
and a Pacinian corpuscle relays information through our instinct network to the pineal gland, and then the pineal gland is our interpreter of sound. And the pineal gland runs the brain.
Mm, mm,
Without a pineal gland, the brain cannot function.
yes.
And with our skin, we can sense and feel vibration, whether we are close enough to, as people think, they are touching something,
Okay.
which physically is not possible. But touching or to touch
Hmm.
is a communication
Okay.
where you transfer the frequency of you to a person or an object, or the object transfers the vibration, sound, energy of what it is to you. And then we can feel, we sense texture, we can sense temperature, we can sense all kinds of things. But
Okay.
it's
Okay.
all a communication network that is usually beyond most people's minds. They don't understand that that's actually going on.
Okay. Okay. So that means that natural math, you mean to say that it all comes from our the vibration of the physical body.
Yes, we can hear and send sound just by intention. Our thinking, each thought is a different sound, and it comes as a pattern of function. The same as we hear a symphony play,
Okay.
and a symphony is a pattern of function that you can take 40 different instruments that all play together and they all emit one sound.
Okay.
That's a pattern of function.
Okay.
And that is how our brain processes. Our brain is a nuclear processor. It runs on nuclear energy.
Okay.
Okay,
Hmm.
and we process trillions of executed processes concurrently all the time.
Okay. 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 So that means uh, you are saying about mostly about sound, like I understand that naturality you are unifying is a sound.
Everything is a sound.
Okay. Okay, everything is a sound. That sounds interesting, because as I also referred just a few minutes back, Helen Keller. So the people who are deaf, so everybody who is a deaf cannot learn the auditory.
Well,
Uh,
they cannot, they do learn, they just learn it differently.
that speaking capacity, not by listening. Yes, yes. They have to.
They can feel when we speak. They feel when we have an emotion. They feel when we withdraw back from them and when we move ahead towards them, like when you focus and pay attention to a person.
Yes.
They know when you're looking at them, they know when you're not. A blind person knows when you're looking at them because they feel it and they learn the communication differently.
Okay. Okay.
But the only thing they cannot do is mimic. They cannot mimic audible sound back because they're not receiving that information on the same level. They still feel it
Okay.
and they still know what we mean.
Okay.
They know what we intend, they know what we feel, but they learn it differently.
That is interesting. So, have you have you got any experience of um, like how they are taught in a school?
Disabled people?
Yes, yes, that deaf and deaf and dumb.
Oh, I have a huge network of people who are autistic, have cerebral palsy,
Okay.
who have all of bipolar disorder. I understand all of that in great depth.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
You see, an autistic person is not less aware, they're more aware than most people in their minds. They hear all the sounds that most people don't hear.
Okay.
And that's what the confusion is to their brain, because it's their mind is overloaded with too much information,
Okay. Okay.
but they are not unaware. And they're most definitely higher intelligence than most people.
I see. Yes. Yes. So intelligence is then inherent, like it is from birth. It is there. That means like
Intelligence is awareness.
awareness, and awareness increases, but intelligence probably is almost constant, or it also increases.
Intelligence, see, being smart and being able to use the information in a way that normal people recognize it is a limited viewpoint of intelligence. The norm of people is reactive to only our five senses.
Hmm.
But that's not all that's going on. And an autistic person
Yes.
can process 1,000, 10,000, and some of them 100,000 times more information than what a person who is normal can
Okay.
actually process.
That is interesting. Yes, that is
Because
interesting.
they're just normal people are focused to a very narrow tunnel,
Yeah. Yeah.
where autistic people, they are open to everything,
Yeah.
and they are processing a lot of information that they can't communicate to a person who doesn't understand what they would say to them. They can't communicate it because they know you don't understand.
Okay, so when physicians try to treat a autistic patient, then what they try?
Uh-huh.
They try to make the other senses subdued, like the treatment of autism. How then it works? Like they try to put all other senses off, and only the few five
Yeah,
senses
sensory
working.
deprivation. It's like going into a tank of water where you have no sound, you have no sight, you have no hearing, you have like it's sensory deprivation. They try to turn their ears off
Okay.
and subdue the amount of information that they are receiving, and they block their eyes because our eyes work on sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eyesight is echolocation scalar wave sound. Eyesight doesn't work on light, it works on sounds. Trillions and trillions and trillions of sounds. So
Okay.
if you block your eyes,
Uh,
that stops a lot of information from being processed in your brain.
yes. Yes.
And when you cover your ears,
Yes.
you're just slowing down the amount of information going through their brain, and that helps an autistic person to calm down because they're not being overloaded.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is a
But
very interesting topic. So, how do you come to this understanding of natural uh, being like legend, math, and sound? How you have come to this topic?
I'm preminetic. I hear all the sounds that cannot be heard with your ear.
Okay,
I've always been this way. I can remember being in the womb and hearing people's voices and thinking it was funny because I didn't know what it was.
okay,
I can feel I can feel information from people and interpret it. I've learned to, and it's a behavior. Yeah, you have to learn it, and it takes a long time to learn it. And I've only learned it because I'm not. I've never been part of the normal society. When I grew up with seniors. I didn't grow up with other kids. Um, when I've gone through long periods, including years,
okay,
where I do not speak. I only listen. The biggest jump of my awareness actually came because I was electrocuted and was physically dead. And then when I came back, my senses and my interpretation took a big leap forward
oh God,
as to what's around, what everything really is.
oh God,
But everybody is, excuse me, everybody is premonetic. Everybody has all the same abilities. The
okay,
only difference between a person like myself and another person who thinks they aren't is that they have not been taught to be aware of it. That's the only difference.
okay, okay,
I was raised by people who grew up in the 1800s and they spoke very few words, but they communicated a lot.
okay. Yes, yes.
So,
Unspoken words. Yes.
well, they taught me to listen to what they intended and to interpret it so that we could communicate back and forth, but we don't have to speak.
Oh, oh.
And we can just talk straight from brain to brain.
Okay, okay. That is, to us it is difficult to conceive because
It, yeah,
yes.
it depends on what you're taught.
Mm, mm.
But everybody has instinct, everybody has premonition, everybody does.
Yes,
You have to have, or you don't exist. Your instinct is running 24/7 from the moment of conception to the moment you die. That is a process pattern, a function that is running as an infinite loop all the time. It cannot shut off. If your instinct shuts off, you die.
yes. So the brain signal, like see, maybe it radiates electromagnetic waves and it also interacts with other brain waves. Yes, by who are just beside us. Say, I also have seen some this type of situation that somebody is sitting in front of a person, but the person is looking to the front audience, and the person from back tries that person to look back. So without any auditory sound, um,
Right.
he tries to call that person, and that person looks back. Uh, Probably it is sending the brain signal. In movies, sometimes
Right.
it is shown that a girl and a boy. So the boy from far tries to call her, and
Yeah.
just with some hand
Nobody
gesture.
can
Yes, yes,
sneak up behind somebody and they don't know they're there.
mm, yes, yes,
If you walk up behind somebody, they will turn around because their instinct heard you.
yes, yes,
It doesn't matter how quiet you are, if your ears don't hear them, you cannot sneak up behind somebody and they don't know you're there. They
yes,
know you're there.
yes. And these senses are probably stronger in some of the animals, like dogs and other animals. I suppose means
All animals live by instinct. They live
instinct.
by what they feel, not by what they think.
Yes, yes,
And all animals are taught to listen with their skin. And you listen with your bones. And you listen to all the sounds. Because if you don't listen, you become somebody's dinner. They have to pay attention
yes, yes,
or they don't make it.
yes.
In the human world, which is not a place, the human world, we're not taught. We're taught that, oh, we can just use our mind and our eyesight and our hearing, and that's all we need
Okay,
to survive. And that's true. But if you take a person that has been raised in a city and put them out in the bush, they will not survive. Excuse
okay,
me.
okay, okay.
They will not survive because they're not listening.
Hmm. That is to normal beings. This subject, yes, it is difficult to understand or understandable. Yes, no, like we have only five senses,
See,
and five senses also. Some people, some senses are weaker out of the five.
well, I can sit with a person. I can do this with people that just walk by, but I can sit with a person that I've never seen before,
Hmm.
and all they got to do is sit there, and I can read them. I read them. I hear the information that's coming from them, and I can explain to them exactly how they were raised, by what kind of people,
Hmm.
what they were taught,
Hmm.
what they're aware of,
Hmm.
what they are feeling,
Hmm.
and they never have to speak a word.
Hmm. This is a subject popularly known as thought reading.
Okay, yeah. To me, it's premenetic because premenetic used to be a real word, but they took it out of the dictionaries
Okay,
because they don't want people to be aware of their instinct.
okay, okay. And people accept it
The
as a
people that are in
magic.
charge of running the world
Hmm.
want people dumb. They want people unaware,
Hmm.
so they're really easy to control.
Hmm. Hmm. And it is considered
But
as superpower. Like people will.
it's not a superpower. It's no, it's natural.
Hmm.
It's natural for everyone. But like
Hmm.
all behavior is learned. All instinct behavior is learned
Okay.
because ancestral memory is passed to us in gestation while we're in the mother's womb. Memories of all the past lives of all